Hi guys, it's Dr. Pam and I'm here with your burning question for this week. So this month we're going to continue on aging, and I'm going to start today with Victoria's question on aging, which is this: how do I know when to change the diet in my dog to accommodate his aging needs? Now this is a really good question. It's also a very critical question. And if you ask yourself, if you think about it really, don't we age from the moment we take our first breath? Yeah. So what would happen if you notice things early on, before you're in your senior years, and you change things a bit? Do you think it would impact the life, the quality of life, the length of life? Yeah, pretty much so. So the thing is that Victoria and I have been together. She's been a client of mine for 20 years. And in that time, we've worked on 6 different pets. 6. And what's interesting, and I want to share this with you, is where the pet comes in, or the pet came in, their level of health, when we started things, determines the outcome. So in our first dog that we worked together on, Jess, she was a great dog, but she was already a senior when I met Victoria. So her aging, though we rolled back the hands of time on her, that rollback wasn't as dynamic as, say, Keenan was when he was a puppy. We noticed deficiency, boom, and we changed things. And now he's 8 years old. He's technically a senior. You can't tell. That dog is forever young. He is amazing, okay? So I'm going to tell you how you know, all right? You ready? Get a piece of paper and a pen. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Or actually, let me tell you this. I'm going to tell you exactly when you know. Ready? It depends. Now, I'm not trying to be flippant about it, but it's not like dogs have a turkey timer that pop up and say, hey, it's time to change the diet. Wouldn't that be great, though? Wouldn't it be great for us? But in reality, they do give clues, and so do we. We just don't recognize them. We don't have awareness of it. So today we're going to talk about some of that stuff, all right? Because here's the deal. When you're getting older, that's a passage of time. But aging, that's the path that you take to get there. And the paths differ, right? You can take that slow aging path, meandering, smell the roses, look at the trees, listen to the birds, and you may go a little faster, but then you slow it down again. That's healthy aging. And the aging index in that path is really very low. But let's contrast that to a direct, high-speed, Autobahn type of path. That path is going to be an accelerated path of aging. And the aging index in that is going to be very, very high. And what that does is it creates an outcome. And the accelerated aging outcome is going to have a shorter hard stop than the meandering path of healthy aging. Now, there's different paths in between, and we'll get into that at some point. But what I wanted to do is to give you a tool today, give you my super secret assessment guide for figuring out the aging index in a dog. This is something that I use whenever I see any dog. And here's a secret. I do it even when I'm not working. It's pathologic. I can't stop. But there are 4 areas that I really look at to determine where we are and what we need to do. And I'm going to share those with you today. Now, we're going to talk about all 4 in depth, but 2 of them today, 2 of them next week. And at the end of the month, we're going to wrap it all together and give you the final product, okay? So the 4 areas are external indicators, movement, digestive stability, and then also diseases. And today we're going to talk about external indicators and movement, okay? So external indicators. You guys remember this? My little guide? If you're on my email list, as I try to bring it in, as you're on my email list, you receive this as a free download. This is a guide that helps you learn how to use your external indicators. And what am I talking about? So when a dog first walks into my office, I say hi to the clients, make eye contact, but then my eyes are only for the dog, okay? And I'm looking, and same for cats. It's not as easy to use in a cat as it is in a dog, but I'm always looking at the body for the answers, okay? So they're coming in, I'm looking. The first thing that I do is like, where's the coat? is the coat supple and glossy, or is it dry and dull? Does it have good color contrast? Meaning, if there's multiple colors, is the white really white and the black really white, really black, and it contrasts where it pops each color? Do they have highlights and lowlights? You know, we're talking about all the stuff that we pay for, right? Then I look at the nose. Is the nose, you know, pigmented, the deep, healthy color of their youth? Like, for instance, black labs and yellow labs and goldens all have really deep, dark black noses. And when they become deficient, it starts turning brown and then pink in the center. Different breeds do different things and have different colors. Like, for instance, Wymies have a dark gray. I'm seeing a lot more Wymies now with pink nose. So keep that in mind. Then I look at their eyeliners and their lip liners. There's a reason that women wear eyeliner and lipstick, because we lose pigment around the eyes and around the lips. Dogs do too, okay? And then I'm looking at the base coat, where I spread the coat apart and look at the very base of it, because that's where you know what's been happening in the short term, okay? And I also look at the pads. Are the pads hard and rough? Are they supple? They should be soft and supple like Italian leather racing gloves. If they're cracked, if they're hard, if they're yellow, that's a sign of deficiency. That's a sign that we're aging. Guess what? If you see any of these deficiency signs, that's tracking your aging index up. Whereas if you see the signs of health, the supple, the glossy, the color, the pigment, the pop, that's driving your aging index down to low, to very low. Okay, so I use that first off. That happens in the first, 5-10 seconds. Okay, then I go to movement. Now, movement is all about how they're moving in, not just that they're walking, that how they're walking. Do they have good range of motion in their shoulders and in their back legs? Is their stride a nice full stride? Do we have any hitches in their giddy up, right? Do we have any problems with bending a certain leg or holding the head low? Do we have any issues with how we're sitting down? Are we sitting crooked? Do we have trouble getting down? Does it hurt to get down? Does it hurt to get up? Those types of things. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you have movement issues in your dog, that means that your dog is highly inflamed, and that drives the aging index up. That's why we use movement as a guide. Now, don't think of these as ways to criticize where your pet is. It's a very, very easy type of evaluation. It's neutral, because when you make changes, you can also use these areas to evaluate their improvement, okay? Next week, we're going to talk about digestive stability. We're going to talk about disease states and how that wraps into it. And the thing is that I want to tell you is the path that you choose matters. And you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Robert Frost said it best when he ended his poem, saying, "Two roads diverged, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made